And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Well, it is time for another Weighing In podcast where we're going to talk about the UFC Fight Night with Cory Sandhagen taking on Marlon Vera. Just ended. Going to talk about that fight with Holly Holmes. Was there any fights on there that we thought were really something special and good? All kinds of things that we got to go and talk about. My man, Josh Thompson, is sitting there with his American Jiu-Jitsu shirt on, ready to throw the triangle on this entire night. Go ahead, baby.
Yeah, I'm ready to choke it out. It's a little frustrating to watch.
What are you going to choke?
The fucking judges who almost gave me a heart attack in that main event. Before we even get started on this card, guys, go to weightinmerch.com and pick up some of our sweatshirts and our hoodies and everything else that's available there, hats, t-shirts, everything that is available. We want to thank you guys for continuing to support us. Also, go to onlyfans.com/weighing-in. Subscribe to our channel there. We did a live podcast on there just recently.
Yeah.
Did fantastic. We are only taking our fan questions from our OnlyFans channel, and it is free. We're not charging, guys. Just head on over there, onlyfans.com/weighing-in. All right, let's get rolling into this show, man. Like, let's get rolling into the fights. Let's get rolling into this. I mean,
go.
You know, I'm gonna be completely upfront to start off this whole thing. I expected a lot more, John. I did. I expected a lot more. I think this was a card that they didn't look like it had a lot of like good fights below it, so I expected the main event to really deliver. And I gotta tip my hat, man, to Cory Sandhagen. The guy is frustrating for a lot of people to fight.
Ooh, totally.
He is so damn good on the feet. His footwork, his lateral movement, his switching of stances.
Yep.
And I believe it was Paul who said this. Paul Felder, is that it was Dean Thomas. Sorry. Got to give props to my boy Dean, man. Dean, great work tonight on the main event. The way when he switches stances, most fighters when they switch, they're good from one side. Cory's good from both sides, and not only is he good from both sides, he throws off of both sides as he switches. Which is not like guys can switch and they do that well, but they don't like they have like for me when I would switch, I had a couple set combinations that I threw from that position, and then I went back to my normal stance. Yeah. Like you know how long you can hang out there before it starts to get risky. That's not Cory,
time
man.
to switch back. No,
yeah, and that's not Cory.
But he also has basic setups that he uses from both sides. And you can see the difference when he's in his southpaw position, what he likes to do, when he's in his orthodox stance, what he likes to do. He throws the uppercut from the orthodox stance a lot. He throws that straight left down the pipe when he's in the southpaw. He just does different things, but he's effective with all of it, man. I mean, he's really, really technically, and we talked about this though, technically he's so good in the stand-up. Oh. And it's a matter of when he mixes things up, and I thought the big difference in this fight was he mixed things up, Josh. He was an MMA fighter fighting a guy in Chito Vera who I love. I think he's fantastic. I still think he's fantastic, but he was looking for a knockout. He was looking for a big moment. He was looking for that one shot. And you cannot look for that one shot against a guy like Cory Sandhagen because that one opportunity, it may present itself somewhere along the line, but you got to catch it. You got to be able to respond on it and land that thing. And the fight's going to get away from you, and it got away from him.
Yeah, he found himself in a very similar situation with the Rob Font fight. He was losing every minute of every round, except for the last minute or a minute 30, and then he hurt him, and then rocked him and was able to finish every single round beautifully. In this situation, Cory Sandhagen, his technique and his defensive technique, I can say, is spectacular. And the way he moves, the way he keeps his offense going just enough to make you a defensive fighter is so impressive. Yep. I mean, John, the things that he did, he never really kept himself out of position for too long when he did get out of position. I loved how he was threatening the takedowns, but I really think that the difference in this fight was right off the bat, he set precedent with the takedowns. Oh, yeah. And right when he set precedent with the takedowns, and then Chito just it's just one round. Oh, shit, now it's just 2 rounds.
It's 2 rounds.
Like, it got away from, like you said, then it got away from him.
I would like to say it was 3 rounds, then 4 rounds, but I have a judge that said that Marlon Vera won the fight because Texas has had just a hell of a weekend. They're just fucking on fire.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, John, I got to tell you, man, when I moved there, I'm looking forward to joining that commission and taking it over because it's horrible.
Good, you do that, man. I'm waiting to see you do it.
Oh, man. Oh, it's just
Josh,
bad. Man.
Come on.
That was horrible.
There's no, and look, I love Chito Vera as a fighter. You know, he is fun to watch. He's never gets tired. Normally, he's got a very high output after like the first round because first round he does take a while to get going, but he's kind of like, you know, getting his reads on things. But there's no way he won 3 rounds of a fight. I'm sorry.
No,
I could give him one.
Yeah,
I could have
maybe given him the third. I could have maybe gave him the third.
I could give him one.
Yeah,
but it's like, no way.
But where I find that I feel like he had a hard time with it was after the takedown in the first, and then the second when he was able to get back to his feet after being taken down. I could see that there was a lot of flinching and like kind of wincing a little bit every time Cory would move. So he was having a hard time with Cory's speed also.
Yeah.
And then he was getting hit from the range that and the length. So you put that speed where Cory was the faster fighter and you add the reach advantage, it was a problem for him. And he just couldn't make the adjustments in terms of pulling the trigger. And by the time he did, it was the last 10 seconds of the fight. I mean, he should have fought a lot of the fight the way he did the last 10, 15 seconds of that fight. Because I think he would have had a lot more success. He would have been able to create those positions. Cory is a technician. The best way to beat those kind of guys is make it a dog fight.
Yep.
If you don't make it a dog fight.
Make it ugly.
And look, you're really playing with fire when you do that. But it's so hard to get around him any other way. I mean, he's good at takedown defense. He's not bad off of his back. He's good from the top. He's got decent takedowns. You know, his reach and his range at getting to the single leg, that snatch single he was hitting into the double, getting to the body lock, was beautifully done. I mean, he does everything right. He's a very he's tactical. He's a very tactical fighter. He's not someone that wants to go in there and exchange blow for blow. He's not that kind of fighter. And Chito kind of is. And so Chito needed to get past that original line of defense and not let the fight get away from him the way he did. And he didn't do it until late in the fight. And just got away. And the whole time, you can hear Perillo going,
yeah, Jason,
are you here, buddy? Like, what's going on? Like, are you okay? It's like, he asked him, are you okay? It's like, why are you not doing anything? And they have this conversation with him all the time, as Bisping was saying. We always have this conversation with him. But he usually pulls it out after the first round. And you go, okay, look, I got it. Get back into it. And he gets in there and he lets it go. Well, this fight's just, I think a lot of it had to do with Cory. Cory's ability to make him move, to fluster him, the speed was to his advantage. The reach was to his advantage. Just being slick, switching stances, and then throwing off the switch, and then creating more movement off of that, and then making him guess. Like every time that Chito wanted to sit down on his feet and like bear down and throw, it was gone. There he goes. Where'd he go?
Or when he did, he actually got himself so far out of position. Cory's just way out, and here's Chito looking at a fence, and Cory's all the way off to his right or left, and look, this is what happens, and it is that if you fight Cory's fight, you're gonna walk away with an L usually. You know? He's that technician, so you've got to create those scenarios where he can't be the technician. He has to be the gritty, dirty fighter. You know, trying to best what you're doing. You're gonna have a better chance of beating him doing that than you are being in that tactical battle, because in that tactical battle, he's got good wrestling. He's got a good top game. He's got good submissions off his back, so he creates at least enough problems where it's tough to be offensive against him. And in the stand-up, Josh, let's be honest. How many guys in the stand-up at the 135-pound class are better than him?
Yeah, I don't think there is.
I'm telling you, I don't think there is right now. You can look at, Sean O'Malley would be one that would match up well. I'd like to see that. I think that'd be a great fight. Stand-up wise, I think they're going to match up well. But Marlon Vera would have been the other one that I would have said, and that was clear who was the better technician and stand-up fighter. And you can go down the list. I think Rob Font is really good, but he's not as good as Cory Sandhagen. That obviously no one else in that. The only guy that I could put and say I'd like to see his style against Cory would be Umar Nurmagomedov.
You know, I'm gonna actually go up to I'm gonna say Jonathan Martinez. He's pretty good. I'd like to see him match up. I know he's got a long ways to go.
Well, he is. He's all the way down at 14.
Yeah. No, but I'm not just saying. I mean, he's got to mature also, too, a lot more in his fighting abilities. I'm not going to throw him, but it's stylistically in terms of the stand-up. He's got powerful kicks. He's very good defensively. He's a really good fighter. I know he's young. He's got a long ways to go, but I think in the future I could see that fight potentially coming to fruition maybe later on down the line. But I look at this weight class, though, John. But what I saw tonight, neither one of those guys is beating Merab or Sterling. When it comes to the style of which the Merab and Sterling, what they do, the wrestling, the submissions, I don't think either one of those guys. I don't think Chito beats Merab or Sterling, and I think Cory doesn't beat him either. I look at the weight class. I mean, right now, like I don't even know. Sean O'Malley makes it very interesting, only because there's a lot bigger of a threat off of his back, to fight those guys. But even him, I don't think he's quite right there yet. I know the win over Peter Yan, but I think everyone kind of agrees that that Sean shouldn't have won that fight.
It's very close.
It was a very close fight. It wasn't a robbery, but it was a very close fight. But I didn't think that. I thought Peter should have won that fight. You work your way on down that whole thing. Umar does have a good chance, but like I said, even him, I'd like to see him get a good fight in there somewhere. Maybe him and a Rob Font, who knows? You may see Munoz. You may end up seeing him and Marlon, right? Maybe next. Possible. I mean, if you look at Chito, you look at Marlon Vera. If you look at Marlon Vera, you look at Chito, and you maybe Umar, because it's not like Chito took a lot of damage tonight. A little tiny cut under his left eye or whatever, right eye. I mean, and he's somebody that likes to stay busy and active. And like he said, he's like, why am I going to wait around and see how it pans out for me to get a title shot? Why? So he's not going to get a title shot now after the loss, but he'll probably want to get back in there and try to erase that memory of this loss as soon as possible.
Come back right away. You take a look. Cory Sandhagen 2 fights ago was on a 2-fight losing streak. Now he's on a 2-fight winning streak.
Yep.
It just depends upon the level of competition that you're fighting. Cory lost to TJ, and then he lost the interim title with Peter Yan. But I mean, let's be honest. I think that Cory Sandhagen can cause problems for both Merab and for Aljamain. Now, Aljamain had a great fight against him, got him out in the first round. Can't take nothing away from him. No. But I don't think it would be the same fight. I think it would be, more competitive and a tougher fight for Aljamain than what he had the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can't do the MMA math because we look at, what's his name, Marlon Moraes, right? He finished Sterling in the first round also, too, with a head kick, right? The knee in the head, I think it was. I don't know if it was the first round. I can't remember what it was, but. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be. I'm interested to see how this whole thing shakes out because even though Peter Yan's coming off the losses, he's still really good, man.
Oh yeah, but he's got to get his confidence back.
Yeah, he does. I wonder who they're going to really match him up against next. Maybe him and Chito.
Possibly, both of them coming off a loss.
That's UFC's been notorious for putting 2 fighters that are in the top ranked against each other, so at least one of them gets a win.
That's right.
That's smart. That's a smart play, man. All right, well, let's look. This card, it wasn't a lot of excitement going on for this card, so we're gonna do the best we can to talk about the fights that really intrigued us. And I'm gonna be honest, there was really only 2 that really got me all wet inside, and the rest kind of didn't do shit. But I'm gonna let John go ahead and talk. What'd you think of Holly and Santos?
Look, Holly Holm and Yana Santos now. It was what I thought it was going to be. It did not end up on the feet. Both of them started off, boxing, kickboxing, and both of them have turned more into grappling. They both, get into getting into the clinch, using knees and things like that. Holly was just a little bit too strong overall. I think Yana's strong, but I think Holly was just a little bit too much. She was heavy on top. She did a good job from the top position. Hey, she's turned into a pretty goddamn good grappler. And, people are like surprised that she's using that style. And it's like, what are you surprised? She's not being damaged.
Yeah.
She was getting knocked out, if you recall. She got head kicked by Amanda Nunes. She was having those fights where she was taking a lot of damage. When she's becoming a grappler here and using that, she's not being damaged. That's called being smart. And that at 41 years of age, you've got to have those fights that, you're coming out with not a whole lot of damage done to you throughout 3 rounds of fighting. That's a good night's work.
Yeah, you've seen, there's been fighters in the past that have just realized that, oh wait, I can wrestle and I don't get hit as much. Okay. Which is funny because you normally take wrestlers and they fall in love with their power on the feet, and all of a sudden they want to stand and bang, and it's funny they go the opposite way. But if most of you guys may recall, but if you look at Holly Holm's fight against Chris Cyborg, I mean, she had some great work where she was able to control Chris against the fence and the clinch. She was able to kind of threaten some takedowns. She was able to keep her pressed against the fence. She did some good work there, and she's not a bad fighter in the clinch. And I think if you can tell that she's physically strong. Yeah. She has. I mean, for something, what is she? I think she's 41 years old. But man, she still looks absolutely amazing. And you can just tell she's been over the years of her fighting. She's always taking care of her body. I mean, I remember cutting weight with her one time here in San Jose. I think it was for the Bobby Green fight. We were in the sauna together, and she was fucking shredded. And I was like, I didn't want to sit next to her because she was so ripped. I was like, this is embarrassing. You got more muscle than me, man. So she is the sweetest person. She is so sweet, but she is an outstanding fighter. She's a professional through and through. Yep. And, this is for somebody who wants to continue to fight. She looks like she's making the adjustments to have a longer career and to make more money. Good on her, man. I'm happy for her.
That's it. Well, I guess she signed a 6-fight contract at the age of 41.
That's insane.
It is. But
that's
good for
insane.
Her. She got the win. She deserved the win. That was good. Nate Landwehr against Austin Lingo ended up with a submission, which was kind of interesting because they were starting to bang it out. Mm-hmm. You gotta like Nate Landwehr. As far as he's a gamer, man. I'm just gonna be honest in the way I look at him. He's not that guy that's gonna be a champion. He's not. No. But he's a fighter, dude, and he will fight you. Now it's gonna take someone that physically, there's guys that are faster, stronger, all those things. And when he's put up against one of those guys, you're going to see it. But the dude comes to fight. He doesn't back down from anyone. He comes to fight, and he tries. I love the fact he's a finisher because, man, when he knows he hurts you, he goes after you. I like everything that he does. He gets on the mic and he tries to become interesting, and he talks well. So he's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. I don't normally think you're going to see him in the third bracket of the main card. Yeah. Just before the co-main, he's not that guy. That's just my opinion. I'm not, not that he's not a good fighter. I think he's fun to watch, but where do you go with him from this? Because in the featherweight division, where do you go?
I don't know. I'm not going to speculate where he goes, but John, as I was watching Lingo and him fight, I'm like, how is this the fight right before the co-main event?
That's my point.
And it's nothing against either one of them. It's nothing against either one of them.
Let's just be honest. Answer me this. I'm trying to think of the featherweights between 15 and 10. Dan Ige's one. Mm-hmm. Put him against Dan Ige. Okay. I think Ige wins it.
I think Ige wins it.
Now, and let's take a look at. I think above Ige would be Topuria, right? Somewhere.
Yeah.
Where's Topuria at?
He's number 9.
Topuria's
you got Sadiq, Bryce Mitchell, Ev Love, those guys.
So you look and you go,
Murderer's Row. Yeah.
Well, and he asked for the Alex Caceres fight because he'd lost that one, and so try to get it back. Okay, that's good. No, I'm okay. But when you're getting into that, the
Edson Barboza
10 somewhere in there. Oh my God, come on.
He's not taking that. I don't see how he's beating Edson, man. He don't have the wrestling to get Edson down. He doesn't have the speed to get into Edson.
Doesn't have the speed and the stand up.
And Edson's chin's not the greatest right now, but he also is
he's gonna have a hard time finding it.
So damn good. You gotta find his chin first.
Yep.
You know, and Edson's gonna make you pay every time you try to reach and get to it. I think he's a fun fighter. He reminds me a little bit of Darren Elkins.
Yeah.
You know,
very much
somebody
so.
who is fun to watch
it's a good
fight.
comparison. Yeah,
Someone
dude,
who's
he's
fun
a dog.
to watch fight. Yeah, exactly.
He's a dog.
Yeah. You need guys like that.
Absolutely.
Promotions need guys like that. They need the guys that will
the
go
blood
out
and
there.
guts guys.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Nate Landwehr is.
You need those guys, and every promotion needs it. And he got put into that situation where they were right below the co-main event, and they did a great job. I think, but I was looking at the techniques, the speed, their abilities, and I'm like, okay, they got put into this. I believe because Perez and
I was going to say, let's be honest, the fight that should have been really good.
Yeah.
Fell out because of medical reasons, and that happens. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I'm not going to sit here and speculate on it. Perez had something happen, and so that fight didn't happen. But that still, I'm sure the UFC is going to try to put that fight back somewhere along the way, and that's a great fight.
Next fight.
Macy Barber taking on Andrea Lee. I'm sorry, I did not have Macy Barber winning that damn thing.
I didn't either.
Texas judging, baby.
When I heard split decision on the main event, I was like, you got to be kidding.
You got to be shitting me. That's exactly what
they're going to rip Cory Sandhagen off right now.
Have you lost your mind?
I couldn't believe it. And then when I heard split on this, I was like, how? I was like, how? How did you and then when she lost, I was like, ugh.
Okay, Dave, do me a favor. While we talk, I want you to go to MMA decisions, and I want you to look up the guy who gave that fight to Marlon Vera.
Oh, Marlon Vera.
No, Marlon Vera. And let's see, what was that one? There it is. Joel Ojeda. Find out how many big fights that guy's done. Because he gave
two right here. Sorry, there's an ad in the way there. Oh,
no.
Looks like it did.
You can go back and look.
2022.
Look.
There you go.
2022. There you go. So he's worked 2 UFCs in his career, I guess. Mm-hmm. Maybe more, one before, but no big fights on that. And
as far as decisions, right? It would need to be a decision for him for his position.
You can look up his name in this. Take a look where it says judges up at the top there, and type in his name.
I'm on him right now. I'm on his profile,
and that's the only thing that they have.
Let's see, all judges. Let's check it out, and I'll search his name. But I clicked on his name, so I assume that.
No. If you clicked on his name,
Joel.
That should be Ojeda.
Joe what?
Ojeda. OJ.
Joel Ojeda. Yeah, this is what I clicked on right here, and it gave me
that's
these
what it was.
2021, 2022, 2023.
It doesn't give you anything more. Okay, kind of says everything I need to know.
4.
Probably
these are only decisions, though, right?
Seat. Yeah, that's decisions he's had. But when you're looking at, he's got in the UFC, he's got 4 decisions. And if you looked up, the other 2 were Chris Lee and I can't remember. Was it Sal?
Sal D'Amato.
Okay. So if you look up Sal's name, you're going to see a gazillion of those because
there you go. Yeah,
he's working all the time.
2007.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Sal.
That's when you get somebody that gives a 48-47 in that fight to the wrong guy, and it's wrong, But that's on. Sorry, that's on the Texas Athletic Commission. You're the one that put that guy in that seat. And it's one of those, I want to give him a chance. Great job. Thank God you had 2 judges that understood what they were looking at and could actually give a decent score and put Cory Sandhagen where he's supposed to be in the winners column.
Who was the person who gave it to Macy Barber?
I think Dan Margalotta was one of them.
Go back to the. You said Macy Barber, right?
Yeah.
There's your.
Go back.
Right here. Yeah.
Boom, right there.
Mergulata and Collazo.
Yep. Collazo and Lee was the person that gave it to Lee. I'm sorry. Yeah, Lee gave it to Lee.
Lee gave it to Lee.
That? Lee gave no wonder.
There. Little name bias there, huh?
A name bias.
Yeah, I don't know what they were watching. I didn't see it that way, but
nope.
That fight was a little bit, but that fight was a little bit closer.
Oh yeah, a lot closer
than the main event.
But still,
I know.
You take a look at that and you go 30-27, 30-27 in that fight, Josh. You didn't give Andrea Lee one round. Wow. I want to learn from you.
Wow. Damn it, Dan Mergulata, you fucked it up. No.
Goddamn referee.
See, he needed the speech that I normally give all the refs and the judges before the fight starts that night.
Yeah.
I say, don't fuck it up, you guys. I tell them how every single time. I walk through the refs and I know. I wonder who. All right, next fight.
All right, let's get back on this.
All right, the next fight that we had was Albert Duryev against Chidi Njokuani. You know, I looked at this and it was Duryev tried to wrestle for a while. He did a nice job. Njokuani we've known for a long time and I've watched. Chidi. It's funny because I was listening to Alan Joubain talk about his first loss, which was at Tachi Palace. It was his second pro fight because his first pro fight was against Tyson Griffin's brother. I did that fight. It was like a 15-second fight. And then he fought Chidi Njokuani. And I did that fight. And it was, he took some kicks from Njokuani. Oh my God.
Who did?
So he was talking about that. What's that?
Who took the kicks? Paul
Alan
Felder?
Joubain.
Alan Joubain. They fought?
Oh yeah. It was Alan's second pro fight.
Oh jeez.
He was 1-0. He had beaten Tyson Griffin's brother. I can't remember his brother's name, but so he goes into the second fight. It was against Chidi. Man, he took some kicks in that fight. And it was like, oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slick.
But it was split decision. Okay. I'm just going to go past it because I thought Daniel Pineda, who we've known for a long time, Daniel's fought all over the damn place, going up against a very tough guy in Tucker Lutz. And I know that Daniel was the underdog in that, and he put on a great performance. He showed what a veteran fighter can do, how a veteran fighter can frustrate somebody with certain things that they're doing inside, getting in tight, using all the elements of MMA, taking away some of the, strengths of someone. And then, once you land the one shot that makes the guy go, oops, all of a sudden things change. And that was a very nicely executed submission by Pineda. He deserved that win. I think all of his wins in the UFC are by stoppages, so he's keeping his place, and that's good because he's fun to fight. He's fun to watch fight. He comes to fight.
I don't know contests, huh? Jeremy Kennedy.
Man. Oh, dude, yeah, he's
three no contests.
Yeah,
no decisions.
Wow. Next fight.
Lucas Alexander against Steven Peterson. I know Steven Peterson, basically pulled the plug on his career and everything. Just didn't have the speed, didn't have the ability to get towards Lucas Anderson. Anderson just walked away with it. I do think that the Trevin Giles versus Preston Parsons fight was a good fight. It was a tough fight. They both came out there and were throwing big shots, landing big shots on each other. And it was a good performance by Trevin Giles. It was a split. I don't think it should. When you got one guy that's looking like someone hit him with a truck and the other guy's a little bit puffed, kind of telling you who won that fight. But CJ Vergara against Daniel. Oh, dude.
Jesus.
Daniel Da Silva. That was, they're talking, no, it's a 10-8 round. Yes, that's a 10-8 round in the first round. Holy shit. But all right, look, we put guys down all the time, I guess, and everyone's after the referees. You all need to tell Jason Herzog, thank you very much. Yes. Thank you for being an intelligent person inside of the cage. A lot of people are going to sit there and say, oh, I thought he should have stopped it. Okay. The guy's running because he got hurt. And, when we talk about this, if you're the referee, in the back when I'm talking, look, you get hurt, I want to see that, you know where you're at. So I want to see you move. I want to see you clinch up, grab a hold of him, stop him from being able to hurt you. I want to see you offensively, try to gain some distance. I don't care how it's done. That's showing me that your brain is working. It's when you bite down on your mouthpiece, set your feet, and start swinging back, you're going to start making me think that maybe your brain's not working right now. And when you see CJ running, a lot of people are going to say, well, he's running. It's smart right now. He got hurt. He's got a guy coming after him. And you got to look and say, hey, that's a smart defense right at this moment. I'm not going to stop the fight on you. You're trying to get some time, gain some distance, get yourself back. And he did that. And you got to give it. De Silva was trying to finish the fight. I mean, he was everything he had. I love the way he went after that, but he wasn't able to finish it in that round. Great job by Jason Herzog to let that fight go. It goes to the second round, and this is when you love him because everything just turned. And CJ ended up, I thought when De Silva tried for the calf slicer, and you know what a calf slicer feels like, so, but when your leg's sideways, it doesn't work the same way. Yeah, you got to have that bone on that muscle. That shin bone's got to be there, Josh, and his leg was not in that position. And it's like, let go. You don't sit there and let him just start swinging at your head, and he did, and things just went downhill from that point because he was exhausted.
Yeah, he also wasn't high enough up on the leg, so he had it down by his ankle. Sorry, guys. Yeah, he didn't have it high enough, like up towards the shin. He had it more down towards his ankle.
You need that knee to be separating too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So the shin that goes in between the knee and the calf and the knee and the thigh or whatever, you want that to kind of separate the knee as you're pulling him backwards, so it kind of starts to open up as well as it's putting pressure onto the calf. CJ, buddy, you fought your ass off. You survived the first round. In the second round, you came back and did what he was doing to you, just in a different way. But what I got to give a lot of respect to is obviously to Jason Herzog, because there was moments in there I'm like, oh, you should probably stop this. But then, like you said, the kid was running. Kid kind of was still trying to defend himself. It was just kind of the way that he fell sometimes, or when he tripped over himself. I was like, oh man, getting close. You're getting real close.
Yeah.
But then as the round started kind of coming to a close, the last minute, I'm like, oh, this kid's got a little pop back in his step, and the other kid's tired. And this is what I was looking at. But then what I got to also say is, CJ, when he got the mic, good on you, young man. He said some great stuff.
Yep.
He said his speech afterwards was fantastic. Positive. I've been down. I've been doing this. My family didn't want me to really he said some great stuff. And he was about his city, loved San Antonio. Like I love when you come back after getting your ass kicked in the first round. You come back and dominate the second round, get the finish. Then you get the mic and you can speak like that. Like he was on fire, and it came out smoothly.
10-8 in the second round and a 10-8 on the mic.
Yeah, definitely a 10-8. You got a 10-8 on the mic for sure. But I got a lot of love for him. The other kid, man, he's good. De Silva's good. He just, like they were saying, he tends to slow down. He tends to wither. None of his fights go past the second round. Makes me wonder if he's cutting too much weight.
Is that 4 losses in a row though?
I don't know, but he's good. He's good. He just doesn't. It seems like he might be cutting too much weight.
I think that's his 4th loss. And it may not be 4 in a row though. Jeez, 4 losses.
It is 4 in a row.
But you know what?
Molina,
you would like to see him fight again, wouldn't you?
I would.
Yeah,
I would, because when you talk about fighters that that leave it all out there, I mean, he's proof right there. He leaves it all out there. Yeah. Yep. He left it all out there. You got to learn how to fight smart. He must have been training with Michael Chandler. Just no idea how to conserve energy. Understanding when. But no, overall, he's a very fun fighter to watch. But CJ, man, tip my hat to you. Great job tonight.
Yep.
And yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. And And John, if you're going to rate that card, what are you going to rate it?
4.5.
Yeah. All right. I mean, the CJ Vergara fight really saved the card.
Yes,
so
it
I'm gonna go 3.5.
Oh man,
the fight was bad. The card was bad, man.
Well,
and it didn't help that the judging wasn't great. It didn't help.
Didn't help him.
But hey, go to onlyfans.com/weighing in. Subscribe to our channel there. We take our fan questions there. We do live shows there. And we want to thank you guys for continuing to support us. Like I said, John and I have joined with them along with other athletes. We're pushing more athletes there. We're also the go-between to try to get more of our top MMA athletes and combat sport athletes, whether you're boxing, kickboxing, or MMA. We're trying to get them onto the platform to help change a little bit of the narrative and make it more focused around techniques and ways for fighters to make money on the offseason when they're not training for fights, showing their techniques, letting their fans get closer to them. Sometimes at a price, sometimes not. But whatever it is that the fighters want to do or willing to do to show you guys whatever techniques that work best for them inside the cage or inside the ring or whatever, that's kind of what we're here to help bridge that gap. We are the very first podcast that they have ever sponsored or worked with. And we've signed a year-long deal with them, and we're looking to really try to make a push to get more podcasts on there, more MMA podcasts on there, more athletes on there. We're trying to make this push to really help them grow in terms of the sports industry. So they've created a whole sports department shaped around and based around our Weighing In podcast. So we're going to try to support them as much as we possibly can, and they are supporting us. And our job is to help get athletes there. Go to onlyfans.com/weighing in. All right, John. What else we got to talk about there, podcast, Dave?
Very well, Josh.
Are you sure you can talk?
No, I'm sorry, man. I don't know what's going on. It's like a little. I know, it's weird.
You're wanting to sound tough. Pirate. You're a pirate.
Well, I got to get that. I was looking at the Cowboy Cerrone video here, and I was trying to get that old grimy voice, that those Cowboys have.
Yeah, get the Dalton Fry voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it real deep there.
He's so funny.
Yeah, perhaps the most special moment from the weekend, Cowboy Cerrone being announced is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
There was never a doubt about this. Absolutely well-deserved. I mean, I love the fact they brought his family. Mm-hmm. He did not know that. You look at his two boys there. Obviously, Mama dresses them well. They look fantastic with their cowboy hats on and boots and stuff. But, when you're taking a Cowboy have 38 fights in the UFC?
Some ridiculous.
How many fights did he have in the WEC? Because that really, if you look at it, man.
Yeah.
Because he had to have 15 fights in the WEC, didn't he?
I don't know.
Go through and just count them real quick.
Go through there. Let me see real quick.
Yeah, so we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 WEC.
10 in the WEC.
Yeah.
So really, could almost slice it in there.
2, 4, 6, 8.
He's fought everybody.
14,
oh my God! Look at way down there.
20.
Just everybody.
Doesn't count. I mean, he's got 40 plus fights in the UFC.
Jeez.
38, I believe. 38 fights total in the UFC. Because wasn't he tied with Jim Miller for a little bit?
I think that was like 30. Wasn't that 35, 36 fights or something like that? That was his last fight. So whatever his last fight was, I think that was tied for the most wins, John.
Was that the most wins?
Yeah, that was tied for the most wins. Yep, because Jim ended up having that because they fought. The winner of that fight ended up being Yep.
Well, whatever he has, it's a shitload. Let's just say that.
I mean, just to talk about him getting into the Hall of Fame and to talk about all the people that he has fought. I mean, the most recent ones, obviously Conor, Justin Gaethje, Anthony Pettis, Tony Ferguson. He fought Leon Edwards.
Just do this. Let's look at, if you're gonna look at, go to the top.
I was counting.
Go to the top. Oh, you're counting? Okay, you can count as I'm doing this.
No.
So
no. He said no.
I'm over it. John's counting right now.
Now go. I got five people that have either won interim or undisputed title so far.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on going.
All right. Go to Leon Edwards. Yeah, I'll stop right here.
Jeez. I'm looking at these guys.
Keep going.
Okay, I'll get you the next page right here.
Eddie Alvarez, Jim Miller, Barboza.
Keep going.
All right, then. Let's see. I'm going to pull the next page right here. There you go. I hope he's not counting losses, Josh.
Keep going.
All right. Okay, the most awkward podcast ever with 10 minutes
Okay.
in between.
All right, but basically, and looking at it with somewhere in the area of 16 people that were either a WEC champion, a UFC champion that he fought. It's pretty goddamn impressive.
Yeah, scroll all the way back down towards the bottom there, Dave. I mean, when I look at, like, we're going to do this little list here, but
Where do you
a
want to start?
lot, yeah, just like right where the WC starts. You've got like Danny Castillo, who's been around for a long time, Rob McCullough, who I trained with, Jamie Varner, who was the champ, Rob McCullough was the champ, James Krause, Benson Henderson twice within 3 fights.
Yep.
You got Jamie Varner again, Chris Hordecki, Wagner Rocha, scroll up more, please. And, you just got, the list goes on and on of just top level. Nate Diaz, Jeremy Stevens. These guys were all top level for a long time. Anthony Pettis, Dos Anjos. Evan Dunham doesn't get enough respect. He was so good when he was younger.
Some bitch.
He was he was so crafty, so good on the ground. All of these things. Jim Miller, Edson Barboza, Adriano Martinez, or Martins, or whatever. I think it's Martinez. Martins. Okay, Jim Miller again.
Martins.
Yeah, you go, keep going all the way up. You continue to keep going. But then a lot of his fights, he also in a position there where he just realized, I don't want to fight at 55 all the time. So he started fighting guys at 170.
Yeah.
Because his body frame would allow it. Matt Brown. I remember that knockout. That was a nasty, nasty knockout of Matt Brown. He fought Rick Story. That was a great combination.
What a,
he hit him with
what
the
a
3-piece.
3
or 4 punch combination.
4-piece and a dessert.
Yep. Patrick Cote.
Jesus.
Alex Oliveira, the Cowboy kid, man. That kid was just a dog. He was someone that just would fight out everything. Darren Till, Robbie Lawler, George Masvidal. That list right there, those 3 guys, George Masvidal, Robbie Lawler, and Darren Till. Yeah.
Yep.
Hard pass, bro. I'm not trying to fight those big ass guys.
Hard pass.
Darren Till fights at 185 now. You know what I mean? And he could probably end up fighting at 205. He's just a big guy. And then, he got into he beat up Mike Perry. Then he beat Alexander Hernandez. He beat Ali Quinta. But then he ran out of luck, with the rest of the guys, but that were kind of coming into their own as he was getting older with Tony Ferguson, Gaethje, McGregor, Pettis. Pettis kind of a little bit more on the downhill too at that time. But he has done so much in the sport. He's fought everyone. He's never ducked anybody. Yep. He has taken fights on 2 weeks' notice against fucking nasty, nasty fighters and come out victorious. He is a phenomenal fighter. I remember his fight with, Melvin Gillard.
Oh, my God.
Where I thought Melvin was going to kick his ass, because he was hitting him with some big shots early in that fight. And I think he sat him down. I think he sat Cowboy to his butt, right? And then Cowboy got back to his feet and just basically hid the kick behind the hands.
Kick behind the hands.
And knocked him the fuck out. I was like, oh. That's kind of where I stole the idea of throwing the punch combination low and then throwing the head kick high for Nate. But I started doing that little thing that he did in that, where you kind of knock the hand down and then throw the same leg, same side head kick. Yeah. It was beautifully done against Melvin Gillard. And I was like, oh, that's good. That's crafty. And I started doing it in the gym. I started having success with them. A lot of things that a lot of fighters, if you watch them carefully, even if you're especially if you're a fighter, still their stuff.
Oh.
Still their techniques.
Absolutely.
I don't understand.
Everything you can.
I know. I don't understand. I have no concept of why females right now aren't kicking the calf. I haven't seen hardly any females calf kick. Like, do they just think because it's a guy thing? I don't understand.
It's a guy thing.
I don't get it. I just don't. I don't understand it. I'm like, little things, and then like with the.
They have a ladies' agreement. No calf kicks. Those hurt.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I never see them calf kick. I see them still kicking the upper part of the thigh. I'm like, what are you doing? Like the game's changed a lot since the calf kicks come around. And one of the first guys to do the calf kick that doesn't get enough credit for it was George Masvidal. You go back in the old days in Strikeforce, I think before that, he always used to kick the calf. I remember watching him sweep Gilbert Melendez a couple times with that calf kick and sat him to his butt. I mean, Masvidal was doing that shit a long time ago, kicking low, like right above the ankle. I was like, oh, this is nice. Very nice. But in terms of Cowboy Cerrone, phenomenal person, just a dog inside the cage. Not only just a dog, but just you could tell that he loved what he was doing.
Except when his fight was coming up.
Yeah, that's what
I never saw a guy. Oh, he was the very first time that I reffed him. I'd watched him multiple times throughout the WEC career and everything, right? And I go in the back to talk to him, right? And I'm thinking, this is a dude that loves to fight, so this is gonna be fun, right? And he's like Paul Buentello, man. He's like, oh, why am I here? Oh, what am I doing? Why do I do this? What? And it's like, are you being serious? Right?
Yeah.
And I kind of look at Greg Jackson. He goes, he always does it. Don't worry about it, right? And it's like, every time I went back there, he was doing the same thing. It's like, I hate doing this. And as soon as he started, warming up, things started to change for him. And then as he walked out, I'm ready. And then as soon as the fight ended, I want another fight.
Yeah.
You look, you go, that's not the guy I was talking to in the back about an hour ago, man, because you did not want to be here, you said, right? So he was a unique individual, but man, he always put on performances. He gave the best that he had, and that's what I'll remember about him, is that he would take on anybody. He never backed down, and he always gave it what he had.
Yeah. Mike Van Arsdale was the same way. He fucking hated fighting.
Well, Mike actually hated it.
Yeah, he was a wreck in the back.
Oh, yeah.
He was a wreck.
Yeah, there's all kinds, man. All kinds.
Well, very well-deserved Hall of Fame entry for Cowboys.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you.
Well-deserved.
Congrats. Next, what else you got for us, Dave?
All right, let's take a look at this clip that Jon actually had replied to someone on Twitter saying that he just saying, his opinion on it. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to elaborate there, Jon. It's from Fury FC the night before UFC San Antonio. This was also in San Antonio. Here, I'll play the clip real quick, and then and then I don't know if I can play this in the podcast. It might be copyright, but it is on Twitter, so I'll try and get on there. All right, here we go.
Okay. Throws the triangle on. Boom, locks it in. Now, especially when you get to that angle, it's tight. If you're the referee, that angle, you got problems. Now he takes him off his legs, and he's out.
What are you looking at?
Right there. He's out. He's already out. He's out.
Jon, I want to know what the fuck he is looking at.
He's looking at someone who's out.
I don't understand.
Right there.
His body's convulsing. That's how long he's been out. His body's convulsing.
That's right. That's what the jerking is. Now the guy switches to an armbar.
He's out.
He's out. He's unconscious, but the armbar wakes him up because the choke's been off, and now he's back. But his arm's getting dislocated. And I'm not going to touch it because God knows I don't realize that I can stop it when his arm's dislocated. So now he's got to tap. He actually tapped after being choked out and having his elbow popped. That's when that referee stopped it. Again, you take a look and you go, who are you putting in that cage? If they don't know what they're looking at, what are you thinking? Here's the other part that I found out from this fight. The corner was screaming.
Colin Oyama.
Screaming at the frickin' inspector to stop the fight. I want the fight stopped. Stop the fight. Stop the fight. My guy's out. Stop the fight. Inspector tells him, shut up, stay down. Doesn't stop the fight. He throws a water bottle. He doesn't have a towel. Throws a water bottle into the thing. They didn't stop the fight.
I would have jumped the fence and I would have kicked the fucking ref's ass.
The first person I would have run over is that freaking referee.
I would have kicked his ass. If that was my fight, I would have jumped the fence and beat the fuck out of him right there on the spot.
Now this is okay, but this is where and see,
John,
I'll be
this is making me
the bad
heated
guy
right
again.
now. This is making me fucking heated.
I'm gonna be the bad guy because I should never have said this. If you are part of that commission, that referee should not be part of MMA right now at all. He needs training. If you want to keep him around, good, keep him around. He shouldn't be in there with fighters because he is a detriment to their safety. He is someone that doesn't know what he's looking at, and that could happen in the next fight, and he's going to screw up again because he doesn't know what to look for. That, and then all I put when someone put it to me in is I just watched it and I went, oh my God, absolutely horrible. And it's a travesty that a fighter is put through that based upon the incompetence of an official put in there by a regulatory body that should be putting people that know what they're looking at. Horrible.
That his body, when he was in the triangle, he was in the triangle for so long.
Yeah, he's convulsing.
His body was convulsing because
spasming based upon
spasming because he'd been out for so long, for too long.
Yep. That's right.
And I'm gonna be a little bit. I'm gonna blame the ref 100%. I'm gonna blame the corner commissioner another probably 98%.
100%. No, 100%. That's 100%. You have
when your corner
who knows the fighter more than the trainer, Josh?
Yeah, nobody. Maybe the wife. That's but then on top of that though, a little bit to the fighter, to the other fighter, to his opponent. Like you knew he was out. Like
how did you know?
You know these things.
You can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel their body go limp. I'm sorry, but I mean, this to me at the end of the day, it's a fucking sport. It's no more than a sport. And I know I say this a lot is in 10 years, no one's going to remember my name. No one's going to remember, really the things that you really did in the sport. They'll remember one or two things about you, but they're not really talking about it.
No
one's really, and I don't never want to see somebody get hurt like this in this situation. There may be lasting effects from him being choked out for that 40 seconds. And not only that, but then his arm. His arm is for sure got
effects on that elbow.
Absolutely. Absolutely there will be. I kid you not. Had that been one of my friends or somebody that I had trained with, I would have jumped the fence and kicked the ref right in the fucking head. I wouldn't even have thought about that. I would have jumped the fence, kicked the ref, and kicked the fighter off of him. It made me so mad. I'm watching that on Twitter yesterday, and I was getting sick to my stomach.
It's like, what are you looking at? Stop the fight.
You could see from the angle that I could see the fucking guy was out.
No
and
shit.
The ref is like, got his hands on his knees, like looking, like as if he's really trying to look and see. What are you looking at? The guy is out. There's no struggle in his face. There was no struggle in his face.
No, that's because he's unconscious.
He's asleep. I couldn't believe it. And then even when he switched to the armbar, his feet weren't moving. His body was limp.
But you'll finally see him come back because his feet come up and his feet go to the ground. His knees are bent, and he's back because he's feeling pain. It's crazy.
If I'm that fighter, though, I really considered possibly suing the state. I'm being honest.
Right.
Because you are there to protect the fight. That's what the so-called the athletic commissions are supposed to be there for. No, they're not.
No, you're right. Health and safety of the fighter,
Health
supposedly.
and safety.
And
yeah.
if you're putting somebody in there that is that remiss, how's that? Is that nice enough? If that remiss in their responsibilities and knowing what to be looking for,
that's stupid.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to be kind. For
I'm
once.
not. This is a serious thing. This is not. I'm not trying to
totally
sugarcoat someone's feelings.
If you are in that position where the commission puts somebody that is lacking in the knowledge and ability to actually do their job, and that affects your health and safety, I think you should be able to sue them.
I think they should. I think whoever that fighter is, it's Colin Oyama's.
And then on top of that, you have a freaking inspector that won't stop the fight when I'm the trainer and I'm telling you stop the fight. Crazy.
Sue him. I would sue the state. I would sue the commission and the state for that. Whatever. And I know the promotion has insurance because they have to have insurance to have a commission backed promotion.
Has nothing to do with the promotion.
Exactly. I mean,
promotion is not to blame here.
You don't know what brain damage. You don't know what they could down the line. What could potentially happen? You don't know because he was choked unconscious for so long, and the ref had no clue what he was doing. No clue.
Well, I know he's got an arm that's not going to work for a while.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to work for a while. But the ref, he was in there. I kid you not, John. This reminds me of, I remember back in the day when we would have these fights at the fairgrounds and there would be no ref. And so someone from a local gym would jump in and they had no fucking clue what they're doing. But at least they knew when someone was choked out.
You thought.
At least they knew when someone's arm was about to be broken because they trained. Because it was a guy from the local gym that trained jiu-jitsu. But I mean, I recall several times the guys that didn't really know what they were doing, being out there trying to ref. And it's not an easy job. I'm not saying it is. But there was no struggle in his face. The angle, I had the same exact angle that ref had, and that ref was down on his knees or down with his hands on his knees.
No excuse.
Acting as if he knew what he was looking at, or he was looking really intensely at something. What were you looking at? The kid was fucking asleep.
Huh?
I was so mad watching this on Twitter yesterday. I wanted to jump through and fucking grab the ref by the back of the neck and just beat him to death. It was so upsetting. So upsetting. But if I'm that fighter,
it should never happen in our sport.
It should never happen. And I believe I would think that he'd have a really good case to sue the state for just the incompetence of that ref and the commissioner who didn't stop the fight after the corner's telling you stop the fight. That is your job, by the way. If I turn to the commissioner because they tell you don't throw the towel in, let me know. Tell me you want to stop the fight, and I'll tell the ref inside the cage to stop the fight.
That's right.
But what are you doing? Oh, Texas. Oh, help is coming. Help is coming, my friend. I'll be there soon enough.
I want to see it, baby.
So frustrating.
Right.
Crazy.
Okay, next.
From one frustrating event to another, let's talk about this one. Colby Covington had made some comments. We talked about some other stuff last week with the with Colby getting the next title shot and all that kind of stuff. As part of kind of that, on the side, he made comments towards Jon Anik. I'll read a comment off to you guys. I'll let you guys respond. Colby had said, he's hanging out and associating with that racist, talking about Bilal, Jon Anik. Jon Anik, supports that racism. He's supposed to be impartial. He's supposed to have that headset. He's supposed to be an interviewer. He's supposed to remain impartial. You want to be a cheerleader? Put down the headset, pick up the pom-poms, and go on the side and be a cheerleader. And Jon Anik, dude, I don't want your kids to grow up without a dad. Just realize you live in Boca Raton. I live in Miami. MFer. You're not too far from me, so you better shut your effing mouth. You poke the bear, now you get the bear comes. Now you get the bear comes after you. I think that's a mistake on someone's part. You get the point.
Yeah. Let me be honest. Colby Covington, you'll do nothing. You'll do nothing.
Okay, thank you.
We already it's a bit. It's a bit. And I would take this more serious if it was Masvidal or Nate Diaz or Nick Diaz. I'd take it more serious. This is Colby Covington. It reminds me of fucking the guy that Eminem used to make fun of on 8 Mile. Your real name's Clarence. It's just, bro. You probably grew up in a good family, whatever it was. I don't even know anything about Colby, but I'm simply saying, dude, you'll do nothing. You're the guy. You just speak. You speak like this. You say stupid shit. It's a bit. It's like his bit, and then. He's not. He ain't trying to fight nobody out in the street. He ain't driving up there to try and find Jon Anik. He ain't doing that. So I know it is. You are threatening somebody publicly, which is very stupid.
Hold it. Isn't this the guy that is now basically sued 2 different fighters because they supposedly went after him?
It's so funny. He's weak.
Didn't he? First off, he had the whole thing with Masvidal. If that's gone, whatever. But supposedly there's a civil suit still. There's not a criminal, but there is a civil. And did he not try to sue Fabricio Verdum when Verdum kind of went after him, saying, "Really?" And he was backing away from him the whole time. I think Verdum threw a frickin'
a boomerang.
A boomerang. Yeah. Did he throw a boomerang kind of at him? Right?
That's great.
And you look and you go, and you're going to be the guy putting out threats to a guy that he's just doing his job. He's the commentator, and he's a great commentator. And you're going to sit there and talk about the guy's kids and that you're going to fuck him up. Stop. Stop. You're sounding ridiculous.
Well, John, he's basically been told apparently that he's getting the next title shot. But I mean, I want to throw a little wrench in there. Let's be honest. If George Masvidal beats Burns, I wouldn't be surprised if Masvidal gets the shot at Leon because they had that beef in the back.
Story.
They have a built-in story that's a lot more marketable than the Colby fight
Leon
against
wants
Leon.
that fight.
Oh yeah, he does. That's kind of that is a bigger money fight than the Colby fight. Masvidal and Leon, because the built-in story is already there, and they're both stand-up fighters. They're both going to stand.
Yep,
Leon will probably threaten some takedowns here and there. I don't think George is going to threaten takedowns. He'll stand. But I think if you're the UFC, you're probably leaning more towards that fight than you are the Colby Covington and Leon Edwards fight right now. I think they're throwing the Leon thing out there right now. But if Burns doesn't beat Masvidal and Masvidal wins, I wouldn't be surprised if Masvidal gets that fight.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
And then I wonder what kind of backlash we're going to hear. Maybe we'll see Bilal and Colby fight then.
We should.
We'll see.
I
think if Masvidal wins and he fights Leon, that's going to put Colby out some time. I think you have Bilal and Colby on that same card. So if somebody falls off, then sure, one of them can go in as the backup. Absolutely. But then you'll have them both on the same card. It makes sense. Look at me over here. I should be a matchmaker also.
Look at you. It's almost like you've been in this business.
I'll be taking over Texas Commission here soon, and then I'll be trying to get my own matchmaking. I'll be down there with Mick Maynard down there. I think Mick's in Houston, isn't he?
He used to be. I don't think he is.
I think
now.
he is. Oh, you don't think so? I
Still
think he is.
there?
I don't think he lives in Vegas.
Really?
No, I think he's remote. Yeah.
He can do his job from anywhere.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, I never understood that. Yeah, matchmaker, you don't need to be there. Like you can fly in if you need to see talent. Like if you need to go to a gym and stuff and check out if there's new guys you're trying to sign or something, you can see. But yeah, and I'm sure he spends a lot of time in Vegas anyways. No need to live there. But I think it's very immature. But like Connor said, you'll do nothing.
You'll do nothing.
You'll do nothing. All right, next.
All right. Let's look at this one here. Paulo Costa's manager saying that he is the highest paid fighter from Brazil with his new UFC contract at $1 million a fight, apparently.
Good. I hope it's true. I hope it's true.
Good on him. I mean,
Costa said he hasn't signed a contract yet, but
then
he says, I haven't signed a contract yet, but we did reach a deal regarding pay. It wasn't easy. It was a lot of hard work, and he has to highlight Tamara's brilliant work, the manager.
Right. So let's be honest. Like, he's making $1 million a fight. Great for him. I'm happy for him. Okay, but he's going to pay the international tax right off the top, and then his coaches are going to take their percentage. He's making half of
the
that.
Manager who just got that great deal.
Yep. He's going to make half.
Yeah. So. But he has said he's doing the Chimaev fight. He wants the Chimaev, like the Chimaev fight is what he's working on. So.
I think that's a great fight for him because he's not easy to take down, and he's got power in his hands. He's just got to come in shape. I think that's a great fight for him. You know, and he'll push Chimaev.
Strickland as well.
Yeah, he'll push Chimaev. So he wants that Strickland fight for sure. He wants that fight.
I think that's a great fight.
It is, the two of them.
I'd love to see that one.
As long as he doesn't drink wine the night before, we'll be fine. I'm excited for him. You know, I really enjoy watching him fight. I was hoping there was a chance that he would leave because I would have loved to have him shoot a shot into our middleweight division. But he's fantastic, man. I wish he would fight more. He was on a run where he was fighting all the time.
He was.
Then when he lost the title shot,
Izzy fight,
and he didn't look good. It was almost like he just took some time, like almost like okay, all right, let me rebuild. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. It was kind of like I got to the top, but didn't get it done. Now I'm going to move on. Like he was lost.
Yep.
And he was still on a shitty contract though, to be honest. Like he wasn't making a lot of money. And so that also, I think him signing this big contract right here, that might give him a little shot in the arm. Fire a little fire under his ass. Yep. In terms of him being the most highly paid, maybe in the UFC, but I mean, I know Chris Cyborg makes more than $1 million a fight. So, I like good. She's nasty. She's good. Like she's got a long legacy of making really good money. For a female fighter, especially.
Deserves it.
In the sport. She absolutely deserves it. Absolutely deserves it. Right. She's helped pave the way for so many young females to come along. I mean, her, Marloes Kunin, and Miesha Tate, Ronda Rousey, those 4 girls. I mean, I know we got into the Jennifer Howe and the Julie Ketsey, and remember
Gina Carano belongs in that list.
Absolutely.
Gina was the first face. Chris was the villain, and the villain that beat the face, and then there was Ronda and stuff. But yeah,
wow, how things have changed. Gina's now the villain across Twitter, and and now Cyborg.
That's okay, Gina. You can be the villain. I still like.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, man. She's one of my favorite people. She's awesome. All right, next.
All right, we'll wrap up on where is it? Over here. Well, one guy is signing his new contract. One guy is talking about ending his contract when it ends, and he's talking about retirement. Dos Anjos says 7 more fights with the UFC at 170, and after that, he plans on calling it.
Okay, that's after 7 fights. You're talking multiple years here.
That's 4 more years.
Yeah,
that's 3 years. 4 years.
I'm looking to finish my contract. Mm-hmm. It says contact,
in order to
but
finish
I'm
all
sure
7
it's contract. But 7 more fights is going to take a while.
Yeah, that's a long time. Even if he fights 3 fights in a year, which is very rare, especially at his age, he's not fighting 3
2.5 years.
That's 2.5 years. Yeah. So I think he'll be fighting 2. I don't even know if he'll get past. He's 38. I give him another 1.5 years. And I really wonder how much money he's making, because that'll dictate on what level of competition they're going to match him up against.
That's right.
If you're making a lot of money, like look at Paulo Costa. If you sign up for $1 million a fight, you're fighting whoever the fuck we want you to fight. I don't want to hear like, oh man,
complaints.
Yeah, I don't want to hear, oh, but maybe next fight off. No. You're fighting them right now. Okay. If I tell you in 2 weeks, that means 2 weeks. That's what it means. There's none of this other shit. Oh,
that's what comes with the big pay.
Mm-hmm. So it does. But good on him, man. I mean, the fact that he's still doing it at 38 and he looks good. He's kind of doing or Holly Holm's kind of doing the way that he's doing it. Like she make the adjustment to wrestle and clinch and grapple a little bit more, and Dos Anjos RDA has been doing the mixing, like capitalizing on your weaknesses, making sure that he's not fighting to your strength.
He's doing the full thing because he started off pure jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
Then he got really good with his stand-up. His stand-up was clean. He had power. And really liked to be in the stand-up. And he's gone back now to being, I think I'm going to use a lot of my grappling. And again, keeps you from being hurt. It's called smart.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Good on him. Hey, Dave, I sent you this video. I want to end it on a funny note, but not really on a funny note, but the video's in the news section. John, I want you to rate this knockout. It's so damn good. It's so good, John. Oh, man.
Coming up right now.
What's that?
I said I got it loading up right now.
Okay.
Josh and his TikTok.
I love it. I don't have TikTok. But it is funny. TikTok. It is. Look at this, John. What the fuck? Look at that.
The kick is in slow motion.
I know, but I wonder if they're friends just goofing around.
I think they're goofing around, yeah.
Because the guy's smiling.
He's jumping around like, ha-ha.
I know, but the guy is smiling when he gets kicked. Like, look at him. He's like laughing. Look at his face. And then,
yeah.
Gosh.
It just hits him right up under the chin, dude.
Out cold. Cold.
He is out cold. Oh, I'm he goes down like.
Dave, if you were ever to knock me out, it'd have to be with something like that where we were goofing around and I just didn't know what was going on. Like, okay, boom.
The best part, if you watch the guy who's throwing the kick. Look at he's not even looking.
I know he's not.
Look at his head. His head's one direction. His eyes are going in the one direction. His foot's over there, and it just hits perfect.
I wonder. Is there any sound to that, Dave? Is it? Cause you want to put like the sound that goes "wata," like something. Like
you want to go da dong da dong da dong.
Oh no, it's not. No
sure
sound.
That's gonna get us kicked off.
Yeah, that'll get kicked off. Yeah.
All right.
That's so damn
That's
funny.
That is funny.
I feel bad for the guy. Oh, at least his head fell in the bushes.
Oh yeah.
You know, at least his head fell in the bush, and he didn't crack his head open off the concrete. Oh man, but he was out. All right, guys. Well, hey, go to WeighInThereMerch.com. Hoodies, sweaters, sweatshirts, and everything available on there. Also, OnlyFans.
Can't get away from this.
.com/weighing-in. Head on over there. Subscribe to us. It is free. Doesn't cost you anything. We take our fan questions from there, and John and I doing some live shows over there. We had a good one the other day. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was our first one that we've done on there, and it was, to be honest,
Without lightning,
yes. And it was nice to see like the fan questions come in and us doing it, answering them live, and us talking, having conversations with people, saying, being appreciative and being thankful for us, talking directly to them. And it was awesome. We had a great time, man. We did it for about 30, 40 minutes the other day, and we'll be doing it more often. So I'm looking forward to it. Yep. We were talking about doing live for the main event tonight, and I got to be honest, I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad.
Well, hold on. Yeah, and it is no fault of the UFC. Bellator's had fights where I go, this is gonna be a great fight. Turns out to be, what happened? And this one was one of those, what happened? It could have been so good. It just didn't end up that way.
John, I said this exact thing. Remember when we were talking about Tofik Musayev and Alexander Shabli for Bellator last show in San Jose?
Exactly.
I expected it to be knockdown, drag out. No.
Fireworks.
You got a little bit of what we got tonight. And I said, when you have two guys that are so good on the feet, that are good kickboxers or good boxers, whatever it is, good stand-up fighters, they tend to kind of not cancel each other out, but they really pick and choose their moments and their opportunities to let it go.
Because they realize, this guy's dangerous. That's the problem. I got to be careful. And
it's kind of where we saw tonight, I think, a little bit from Chito and from Cory. Oh, sorry, guys. It's been a long day. Long day. Soccer games, lacrosse games, early ones too, by the way. But hey, I want to thank you guys for continuing to support us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. And John and I are traveling next week. We got Bellator next week in Temecula, California. When do you leave? When do you leave?
Monday.
Okay. Monday morning or Monday?
Monday morning.
All right.
Gotta go see my dad. Gotta go see my dad.
Go see Pops. John, take us away, bud.
Everybody out there, check us out on our Tuesday, Wednesday show that's going to come up. We're going to be talking about all of the fights that are going to be coming up, and there's some good ones. So we'll give you a little preview on that. I think we're going to actually start maybe kind of doing some, should we start doing some things where we actually start saying, okay, in a main card, we're going to pick our winners? I think we should.
No, we probably should. I think we should.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe we'll
so then more people could see how often I'm normally right. I want more people to see that.
There you go. Okay. So we'll see how often Josh is normally right.
Yes.
So, normally. Yeah. All right. For everyone out there, thanks for tuning in, and we're going to see you.